Remember knew in a second. Wang Mang never dreamed that he would drown in his own reservoir. When he woke up again, he found that he had turned into a little python. At this moment, not far from the reservoir, in a bush, a 2-meter-long boa constrictor was looking at the calm lake surface of the reservoir in the distance, its icy snake eyes revealing a humanized bewilderment. Although Wang Mang has been turned into a python for more than 2 months. From the small boa constrictor that broke out of its shell at the beginning, to the 2-meter-long boa constrictor today. But he still couldn't accept the fact that he had turned from a super-rich second generation into a python. After hunting to fill his stomach every day, he would run to his own reservoir in a daze. Hey! Forget it, it's better to live than to die. A python is a python. Sighing, Wang Mang decided to start his new life from now on. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded in his mind, Ding! The swallowing evolution system is successfully bound. Ding! Host, do you want to check personal information? After the sound of the system, Wang Mang was stunned for a long time. When he came back to his senses, Wang Mang was also relieved. He has become a snake, what else is unacceptable? Moreover, before Wang Mang died, he was still a senior fan of novels, therefore, Wang Mang silently said in his heart, yes. Check personal information. Then, a virtual page comes to mind. Host, Wang Mang. Species, Burmese python. Status, juvenile Burmese python. Status, healthy. Body, 2.2 meters long and 26 kilograms in weight. Combat strength, bite force 30 kilograms, speed 30 kilometers per hour. Ability, Death Coil. Evolution points, 0/100, obtained by devouring prey. After reading the information, Wang Mang was stunned. Is this your current state? As if thinking of something, Wang Mang quickly asked in his heart, the system, the so-called evolution point, can it be obtained by devouring the prey all the time? Yes. The host can continue to grow stronger through devouring evolution. Wang Mang suddenly asked excitedly, that is to say, as long as there are enough prey targets to devour, can I continue to become stronger? Even like in the movie? Yes. As long as the host can continuously devour the prey target. After listening to the system, Wang Mang became a little excited. Only now did he feel that his future life would not be so boring at all. Moreover, in order to be able to evolve quickly, Wang Mang couldn't sit still. He immediately moved his body and got into the woods again. As for why Wang Mang didn't enter the reservoir to hunt? This is because Wang Mang is afraid of death. In his previous life, he was fishing in his own reservoir, but he caught some unknown creature and dragged him into the reservoir. In the end, because he was dragged too far from the shore, he was completely exhausted and could not swim back to the shore, so he was drowned. After getting into the woods, Wang Mang began to look for prey. There are often wild animals in this forest. For example, there are wild boars, goats, even wild dogs, animals. As for large carnivorous wild animals, Wang Mang has not found them in the past 2 months. Of course, although no traces of large wild carnivores have been found, Wang Mang still dare not take it lightly. In his previous life, Wang Mang had heard from people in this village that brown bears and tigers had been seen in the forest behind this forest. As for whether there is one, does it matter after dying once, Wang Mang didn't dare to risk his own life. After entering the woods, Wang Mang found no targets worth attacking, only squirrels and birds on the trees. Moreover, because the body of the snake is brown, yellow, and black, it is difficult to hide, so Wang Mang had to hide in a pile of dead leaves, waiting for the prey to come to his door. The boa constrictor is not as agile and swift as other snakes. Pythons are notoriously slow to run, except underwater. Therefore, Wang Mang's hunting method these days is to lie in wait and wait. At night, you can still gain something. In addition, the place where Wang Mang chose to stay, there are mountain rats and hares all year round, which is the reason why Wang Mang has survived until now. The prey is too big to eat, and the prey is too small to eat. Therefore, Wang Mang can barely eat mountain rats and smaller hares. Of course, a medium-sized hare can last him for half a month without eating, and he won't feel hungry. When Wang Mang waited patiently, the sun finally set and night fell. The mountains and forests at night are the scariest, and Wang Mang has long been aware of this. In the mountains and forests, all kinds of animals come out to be active, especially carnivores. Such as wild dogs, bears, foxes, weasels, etc., all kinds of animals will be active at night. The above animals were all seen by Wang Mang himself, and there are quite a few of them in the forest. As time went by, the night darkened, and the forest gradually became lively. Suddenly, in the sight of Wang Mang's retina, a group of small animals emitting heat energy came towards him. The small animal in sight is a huge hare. It was looking around vigilantly, moving its body towards Wang Mang. Obviously, it had to go beyond where Wang Mang was to find food. After all, there was not much food in the mountains and forests, so it was very dangerous. Most of the time, this rabbit will be active looking for food near the reservoir. But this fat grey rabbit didn't know that it had quietly walked into Wang Mang's attack range. When the rabbit entered the attack range and was less than half a meter away from where Wang Mang was, Wang Mang, who had hesitated for a long time, finally moved. He was like a cold arrow, the snake's head burst out, and while the snake's mouth bit the rabbit, its body quickly wrapped itself around the huge rabbit. After reacting, the rabbit began to struggle violently, and even started biting Wang Mang when it was cornered. But Wang Mang still didn't let go, and his body became more and more tightly entangled. Reading www.uuganshu.com. In addition, the severe pain in the body completely angered Wang Mang. Under the entanglement of death, the big rabbit, which was struggling violently, began to gradually exhaust itself. 15 minutes later, Wang Mang killed the huge hare. But what gave Wang Mang a headache was that the prey was too big. Swallowing it alive would definitely kill him. Fortunately, there are always more solutions than difficulties. Half an hour later, Wang Mang ate the rabbit by sharing the food. At the same time, the voice of the system sounded in my mind, "Congratulations to the host. Swallow the hare to get 30 evolution points. A hare is worth 30 evolution points." Wang Mang was immediately happy. Doesn't this mean? How many more prey is he eating tonight? Will he be able to upgrade and evolve? Remember new in a second. Moreover, Wang Mang also discovered the huge changes after he got the system. Logically speaking, after eating such a big wild rabbit, he should move slowly and some parts of his body would swell very much. However, none of these normal physical reactions appeared in him. His body didn't change at all, as if the prey had been digested the moment it entered his stomach. Wang Mang was stunned by this terrifying digestion power, and it also allowed him to continue hunting with confidence. This night, the woods were not peaceful, spent in the hunting and killing of Wang Mang. Until dawn, Wang Mang killed the last prey, which was a fat rat weighing nearly 10 kgs. At the same time, the system's voice sounded again, "Ding! Congratulations to the host, devouring wild rats and gaining 8 evolution points. Ding! The host has reached the evolution condition, whether to start evolution." Hearing this, Wang Mang quickly said silently in his heart, "No." Wang Mang got the news from the system that the evolution process would take about 2 hours to complete. Remember in a second. Therefore, Wang Mang had to find a safe place so that he could evolve with peace of mind. Then, Wang Mang moved his body and quickly returned to the old nest of a football-sized earth hole next to the reservoir. At this point, he calmly recited in his heart, "System, let's start evolving." Then, Wang Mang lost consciousness from the pain of the whole snake. 2 hours later, Wang Mang woke up slowly. First, Wang Mang was surprised to find that he had really grown bigger. As for how much bigger, Wang Mang estimated in his heart that he should be more than 3 meters long now. Open personal information. With a silent recitation in his heart, Wang Mang's information came to mind. Host, Wang Mang. Species, Burmese python. Status, juvenile Burmese python. Status, healthy. Body, 3.5 meters long and 40 kilograms in weight. Combat strength, bite force 70 kilograms, speed 35 kilometers per hour. Ability, Death Coil. Evolution points, 60/200. After reading the personal information, Wang Mang was surprised to find that his body weight had almost doubled, and his body length had also increased by half. A boa constrictor with a body length of 3.5 meters, he should barely be considered a boa constrictor now, right? At this time, the system voice sounded again, "Congratulations to the host. The first evolution was successful. Get a new skill, Poison Fang. Poisonous fangs, the poison is equivalent to 5 times that of ordinary king cobras." When he heard the sound of the system, Wang Mang froze. When he came back to his senses, Wang Mang almost cried with joy. Now he finally has the means to protect himself. After all, the common killing method of pythons is death coiling, which is not as ferocious as some poisonous snakes among snakes. Possessing fangs is like adding wings to a tiger to Wang Mang. Moreover, the poison of the king cobra is already very powerful. But the toxicity of the venomous fang is 5 times that of the cobra. This is very cruel. In the future, he is both a python and poisonous, and his combat power will definitely skyrocket. Wang Mang is also aware of the toxicity of the king cobra. He had seen many news reports before. After being bitten by a king cobra, someone was poisoned to death within 10 minutes, and the ambulance couldn't catch up. But now Wang Mang possesses highly poisonous fangs, which are 5 times more poisonous than king cobra. Although this kind of toxicity is not the most poisonous snake in the world, it is also very ferocious. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was almost elated, and asked curiously at the same time, "System, is it possible that I can acquire skills and abilities every time I evolve?" The system's voice sounded again, "Remind the host, there is only a chance to acquire skills or special abilities. Okay. Although not every time you can get the ability. But Wang Mang is very confident about his future. After all, there are still many times to evolve in the future. He believes that he can definitely obtain more abilities. Moreover, he is not far away from the next evolution now. On the first night, he got 160 evolution points. Wang Mang believes that the second evolution will never be more than 2 days away. As for now, Wang Mang can only wait until dark to start hunting. With this in mind, Wang Mang moved his body and came out of the snake hole. The sun is a little big today. After looking around the reservoir for a while, Wang Mang found that there were still people fishing in his own reservoir in the distance. If he dared to go fishing in his reservoir and didn't pay him before he died, he would definitely look for trouble. The reservoir at home was built by his father 8 years ago. Basically, he has never salvaged it. It is entirely because his father has money to buy it for himself. The fish in the reservoir is very rich. Of course, people often come to fish from their reservoirs, and they must pay for it. UU reading www.uugonshu.com. Moreover, all the people who come to fish in the reservoir contracted by their family are paid by the day, not by hours or half a day. Moreover, my father bought 2 batches of fish fry and threw them into the large reservoir around the mountain a few years ago. The fish is very rich. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but sigh in his heart, and he didn't know how his parents were doing well recently. Early the next morning, Wang Mang ran into the cave impatiently again. Tonight, he gained more than last time. Caught 3 hares and 6 mice. Provided him with 150 evolution points again. In addition to the original 60 evolution points, it adds up to 210 evolution points, enough for him to evolve again. After returning to the cave, Wang Mang couldn't wait to say, "System, let's start evolving." The system's voice sounded, "Ding. Deduct 200 evolution points. Start evolving. Remember new in a second." 2 hours later. Only then did Wang Mang completely evolve and wake up. Moreover, Wang Mang also discovered that his body has grown a lot during this evolution. It is estimated that it should be 5 meters long. System, open personal information. In order to see his changes in detail, Wang Mang opened his personal information again. Host, Wang Mang. Species, Burmese python. Status, adult Burmese python. Status, healthy. Body, 5 meters long and 110 kilograms in weight. Combat power, bite force 180 kilograms, speed 35 kilometers per hour. Abilities, Death Coil, Poison Fang evolution points, 10/400. After reading the personal information, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction. Today, he is 5 meters long and has thick calves. He is definitely a qualified boa constrictor. Moreover, now that it has grown to 5 meters, he can start hunting some medium-sized prey. All in all, Wang Mang evolved again, which can be said to have a lot of real benefits. But unfortunately, at this time, the voice of the system sounded again in my mind, "Ding. Congratulations to the host for evolving again and gaining the new skill Skin Color Camouflage. Skin Color Camouflage, you can control the body skin to change into any color." After listening to the sound of the system, Wang Mang was immediately happy. He had previously lamented that he hadn't acquired any new skills. Who knows, just say CAO will arrive. Moreover, this new skill he acquired is very practical. In this way, his skin will not be limited to brown, yellow, and black. In addition, Skin Color Camouflage can also allow Wang Mang to adapt to hunting in many general environments. In any environment, he can disguise himself as a natural color and integrate with nature, improving the efficiency and effectiveness of catching prey. Not bad. It seems that my luck is not bad. Wang Mang was very proud. Now with a 5-meter-long snake body and venomous fangs, even in the area around the small mountain forest near the reservoir, he can be considered a master. In a happy mood, Wang Mang got out of the earth hole and was about to bask in the sun, but suddenly he heard footsteps faintly in the distance. This made Wang Mang immediately vigilant, and moved the snake body to hide in the grass beside him. Then, Wang Mang saw 2 men walking together. One middle-aged, one young. The 2 were carrying fishing boxes and fishing rods, and were looking for fishing spots around the reservoir. Moreover, the voices of the 2 chatting can be vaguely heard. A middle-aged voice came, "I heard that the son of the reservoir owner died in this reservoir 3 months ago." The young man's voice came, "Yes. But I heard that this incident is quite strange. The body of the reservoir owner's son was found in the middle of the reservoir. What's even more strange is that the fishing rod of the boss's son was found on the other side of the reservoir. It is said that it was pulled down by unknown aquatic creatures." The middle-aged man's voice was full of surprise. "Is it so mysterious?" The young man's voice came, "It's more mysterious than what I said. I heard that the son of the reservoir owner was going to catch a giant. He used the biggest hook and the biggest line, and then something happened. Many friends in the neighborhood now know that some people who are making a fuss say that there are water ghosts, and some people say that there are unknown giants in the reservoir." After hearing the chat between the 2, Wang Mang felt helpless. In fact, what the 2 said was indeed true. The reservoir contracted by the family is a bit weird. There are definitely unknown creatures in it, and it is very huge. After all, Wang Mang, a living being, can be pulled into the reservoir, from the shore of the reservoir to the depths of the reservoir. What a terrifying power this is! Thinking about it now, Wang Mang is a little scary. God knows, what did he catch at that time? In addition, it is worth mentioning that the reservoir contracted by Wang Mang himself is also very large. Although it is not comparable to those super large reservoirs, the reservoir contracted by Wang Mang himself has a total area of 300 mu. That is 200,000 square meters. Just the people who come here to fish every year is a good income. It's just that Wang Mang's father doesn't care about the money. At that time, when Wang Mang had an accident, Wang Mang's father almost went crazy and wanted to drain the reservoir to find the culprit who killed him. But how much would it cost to drain a reservoir with an area of 300 acres and a water depth of 300 to 400 meters? In addition, this is not something that Wang Mang's father can easily drain if he wants to. After all, although the reservoir was contracted by Wang Mang's father, it was not privately owned. Otherwise, when Wang Mang had an accident, his father would have done it already. As for now, even though Wang Mang is 5 meters tall and as thick as a calf, he still dare not enter the reservoir of his own house easily. Unless you let him grow up a bit, it will be about 15 meters long. Reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Otherwise, Wang Mang really didn't dare to go down easily, for fear of encountering some unknown creatures or water monsters. Shaking his head secretly, Wang Mang returned to the cave to rest after basking in the sun for a while. After night fell, Wang Mang left the cave and entered the jungle. It moved the snake body to find a new hunting ground and started a new hunt. In a blink of an eye, 5 days passed. During these 5 days, Wang Mang has been hunting diligently every day. Moreover, he also completed 2 evolutions again. Today, Wang Mang has reached 8 meters in length. During these 5 days and nights, Wang Mang hunted more and more food targets. Among them, he was hunting wild dogs, goats, and bears, and they all became his hunting targets. As for why Wang Mang swelled so much, it was because Wang Mang acquired 2 powerful new skills during these 2 evolutions. Remember new in a second. The first skill is a skill that can strengthen the defense of his body, and can make the snake scale defense of his body like an iron sheet. Another skill is the skill that allows Wang Mang to heal himself quickly when he is injured. The self-healing ability is terrifying. It was these 2 terrifying skills that made Wang Mang so ecstatic. The hunting target is also constantly upgraded. From hunting mice and hares before, start hunting medium and large prey such as bears, wild dogs, and goats now. Moreover, the addition of 4 skills also made Wang Mang's hunting process extremely easy. But what makes Wang Mang a little helpless is that since he started hunting these medium and large prey targets, he found that in this mountain forest, the prey subconsciously believed that this area was his territory. Therefore, most of the medium and large prey targets chose to leave this forest. Therefore, in the woods occupied by Wang Mang, there are much fewer active medium and large animals. At this moment, in the dark night, a giant python as thick as a thigh, with a body as black as ink, is moving its huge snake body quickly, searching for prey in the jungle. His 8-meter-long body made many small and medium-sized animals run away in fright after discovering it. This also makes Wang Mang very helpless. After all, he is so big that he is naturally conspicuous, and the difficulty of hunting has also increased a lot. After all, if you follow the previous method of waiting for a rabbit, then, Wang Mang spent more time and gained less. In this case, he will not be able to evolve again today at all, and Wang Mang needs more evolution points today. For the first evolution, 100 evolution points are required. The second evolution requires 200 evolution points. The third evolution requires 400 evolution points. The fourth evolution requires 800 evolution points. Tonight, I want to complete the fifth evolution. Naturally, 1600 evolution points are needed. This is still 300 evolution points short of Wang Mang's evolution requirements to evolve. The last 300 evolution points. You must hunt a large enough prey to complete the evolution. Wang Mang thought helplessly. This is still, he has already searched and devoured a lot of prey tonight, so he did this step. After a long search, Wang Mang finally left the forest and came to the mountains behind. Because, in Wang Mang's forest near the reservoir, there is no prey that meets his goal. Small and medium-sized prey run fast and are very vigilant, so Wang Mang had no choice but to choose the jungle near the mountains behind to find prey. However, in fact, Wang Mang did not disappoint. As soon as he entered the jungle in the mountains behind, Wang Mang saw a big wild boar from a distance, weighing 400 to 500 catties. This fat big wild boar immediately made Wang Mang excited. He is sure to kill and devour this big fat wild boar, he will definitely be able to evolve for the 5th time. Therefore, Wang Mang moved his body cautiously and gradually approached. But to Wang Mang's surprise, the fat boar looking for food saw him before he got close. Moreover, instead of retreating, the big fat boar stared at Wang Mang and walked towards him. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang was not surprised at all. After all, wild boars are omnivores and will eat meat when there is meat. Moreover, it is estimated that Wang Mang's size is not too threatening to this wild boar. After all, Wang Mang is only 8 meters long. Therefore, this wild boar can be said to be very courageous, and it even set its sights on Wang Mang. For this, Wang Mang couldn't help sneering secretly. At the same time, Wang Mang is more like a king cobra, with the Tumaturi snake head erected, and the snake eyes are staring at it coldly. Wang Mang's actions also made the wild boar back subconsciously, a little hesitant. It obviously sensed a dangerous aura from Wang Mang. This is undoubtedly telling it that the python in front of it may not be easy to mess with. Therefore, there is no doubt that the wild boar did not act rashly, but wandered around Wang Mang instead. Similarly, Wang Mang is also looking for an opportunity to attack, he must ensure a successful attack with one blow. As long as Wang Mang bites the wild boar and injects the toxin in the fangs, this wild boar will be his meal. The scene was deadlocked for a few minutes, and Wang Mang suddenly moved, like a cold arrow shot out, the snake head bit the wild boar's neck. At the same time, while biting the fat wild boar, Wang Mang also injected the toxin that had been prepared in the fangs. Wow! With a miserable howl, the wild boar was obviously irritated, and rushed towards Wang Mang crazily with howling. Even though Wang Mang had loosened his mouth, he was still coaxed out by the wild boar with his mouth, and fell to the ground hard. Although he was not injured, Wang Mang was still coaxed into a mess and his head was a little shaken. But when Wang Mang saw the wild boar rushing madly again, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com immediately moved his body quickly, and took advantage of the opportunity to entangle himself and climb up a tree as thick as the mouth of a bowl. But even so, the wild boar obviously still didn't give up. It kept gnawing at the big tree, and it was obviously very angry. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang didn't care, he wrapped his body around the tree, no matter how the big wild boar under the tree tossed and tossed, he remained calm and at ease. Because, in less than 15 minutes, this big wild boar will definitely fall down, and the venom injected by Wang Mang's previous fangs is quite a lot. Not to mention this wild boar, even if an elephant comes, it will have to get down within an hour. Moreover, the harder the wild boar tosses, the faster the toxin will take effect. Therefore, Wang Mang now only needs to wait until the prey falls directly to the ground before he can enjoy this big wild boar weighing 400 to 500 catties. This wild boar is also the biggest prey that Wang Mang has caught recently. Therefore, after devouring this wild boar, Wang Mang will be able to undergo the 5th evolution. At that time, his body length will definitely reach the level of 10 meters long. Remember new in a second. Sure enough, after tossing under the tree for a while, this fat and strong wild boar began to shake its head, and its body staggered from side to side. It looked like it was about to fall down at any moment. This is obviously Wang Mang's snake venom starting to take effect. The whole process only took about 10 minutes. This also made Wang Mang feel that his toxicity is really domineering. A fat and strong wild boar lasted for only 10 minutes. If a person was bitten by him, it would probably not be much better. Boom! The previously mad boar fell down, not far from the tree where Wang Mang was. It could still vaguely coax it to howl, and its body twitching became smaller and smaller. After a while, Wang Mang felt that it was almost done, so he went down to check the situation of the wild boar. Remember, in a second after confirming that the wild boar was indeed dead, Wang Mang also began to dismember it and eat it. The process was a bit and took a long time. It took Wang Mang a full 2 hours to finish eating the wild boar. At the same time, the system's voice also sounded, "Ding! Congratulations to the host! Get 450 evolution points! Ding! Congratulations to the host, the evolution condition has been successfully met, do you want to start evolution?" No. After hearing the sound of the system, Wang Mang was immediately elated, and before leaving, he cast his eyes at the 3-headed wild dogs not far away, who were staring at them but did not dare to approach them. Because Wang Mang didn't eat all the wild boars, and Wang Mang didn't bother to eat the internal organs and bones, but it was cheaper for these wild dogs. Before dawn, Wang Mang had already left the forest behind the mountains and returned to his own snake den. System. Let's start the 5th evolution. Wang Mang said silently with excitement and anticipation. The system's voice sounded again, "Ding! Deduct 1600 evolution points and start evolving." Then, Wang Mang lost consciousness from the pain like before. It was not until 2 hours later that Wang Mang woke up leisurely. At the same time, Wang Mang found that his body had become thicker and longer again. After roughly guessing, Wang Mang felt that his body length should have reached about 10 meters. Of course, my guess is definitely more accurate without systematic personal information. Therefore, Wang Mang said excitedly in his heart, "System, open personal information." The next moment, personal information appeared in front of him. Host, Wang Mang. Species, Burmese python. Status, adult Burmese python. Status, healthy. Body, 10 meters long and 460 kilograms in weight. Combat power, bite force 600 kilograms, speed 40 kilometers per hour. Skills, death coil, poison fang, skin color camouflage, defense enhancement, super self-healing. Evolution points, 150/3200. After reading the personal information, Wang Mang was even more satisfied. Sure enough, his body length has reached 10 meters. The body is almost as thick as an adult's waist. The bite force has reached 600 kilograms. What is this concept? For example, his bite is about twice as strong as a lion's. It has surpassed most carnivorous beasts. Plus many skills. Now Wang Mang is confident that he can easily kill the big wild boar weighing 400 to 500 catties last night. Even if he is now fighting with big beasts like tigers and lions, Wang Mang has the confidence to kill them easily. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help feeling a little bit more excited. He didn't even know that apart from humans, there were no other animals that could kill him. Even if it is an elephant in the background, Wang Mang has the confidence to knock it down. At this moment, Wang Mang swelled like never before. At this time, the system's voice sounded again, "Ding! Congratulations to the host! Gain a new skill, eloquence. Spoken words, let the host have the ability to speak." Fuck! This skill can actually make me speak. The dumbfounded Wang Mang subconsciously said in astonishment. But the next moment, Wang Mang was surprised to find that he could really speak. This, good. Good. Haha. Wang Mang was so excited that he almost fainted. Although this skill is only useful for him to speak. But for Wang Mang, who was once a human being able to make him speak again has a completely different meaning. Not only that, once you can speak, doesn't it mean that you can recognize your parents? Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but get excited. If he can recognize his parents, with the help of his parents' financial strength, to what extent will his size grow? 20 meters? 30 meters? 40 meters? Or more or? Just thinking about it, Wang Mang couldn't help being crazy with excitement. In addition, his father's net worth is not low, with a net worth of more than 2 billion yuan. Therefore, Wang Mang doesn't have to worry, he will make his father poor when he goes back. And, with dad's help and enough food for him, Wang Mang couldn't imagine how strong and terrifying he would become by then. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's face was full of excitement, and he had the urge to look up to the sky and laugh. Finally, I don't have to live in this mountain forest like a cold-blooded animal. However, after being happy, Wang Mang calmed down and was a little worried. He didn't know if his family could accept his current status as a python. After pondering for a while, Wang Mang muttered to himself, "No matter what, I have to go home and try." Obviously, Wang Mang has already made a decision, regardless of whether his family can accept this fact, he has to go back and recognize the family. The first thing to consider, though, is the journey home. Because the location of Wang Mang's family is too far away from here. It's a journey of hundreds of kilometers, it's okay if you drive along the mountains and forests. But the family members live in rich areas, and they are all economically prosperous city centers. If Wang Mang went back like this, he would be exposed even if he was driving at night. After all, his current size is really too big, and it is not so easy to go home successfully. Therefore, Wang Mang's goal is on his grandmother who is still living in the countryside. Now he can only contact his family through his grandma. Thinking of this, Wang Mang prepared to take action tonight. The large reservoir where Wang Mang is located is not too far from the village at the foot of the mountain. Reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Wang Mang is confident that he can get to Grandma's house within 2 hours at night. This also made Wang Mang secretly rejoice that Grandma was conservative and unwilling to live in the city. Otherwise, if Wang Mang wants to be a member of his family, I'm afraid it will be very difficult and there is a danger of being exposed. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's mood suddenly improved a lot, and he moved his thick body and left his snake's nest. To be honest, this snake nest is a bit cramped and crowded for Wang Mang now. After all, Wang Mang's qualified snake nest itself only has a hole the size of a football, which would have been okay if it had been before. But now Wang Mang's body has swollen to the point that it is almost waist thick, and even if he squeezes hard, it will be very congested. If he hadn't considered leaving tonight, Wang Mang really planned to build or find a new lair. But what Wang Mang didn't expect was that as soon as he got out of the snake cave, he heard footsteps, accompanied by a high decibel scream, "My God! There's a giant python!" Remember, in a second this sudden exclamation immediately made Wang Mang feel bad in his heart. He quickly raised the snake's head to look, and saw 2 women and 2 men standing a few meters away with fishing tools. One of the men was still holding special equipment for filming and live broadcasting in his hand. At this moment, these 4 people stood in the distance stupidly, looking at the not far away in horror. The snake's body had already drilled half of the giant python. Coincidentally, the camera lens of this small team of fishing anchors also exposed Wang Mang unreservedly under the lens. The viewers, who were watching the fish, couldn't help but explode, and the comments frantically scrolled. "Wild fisherman, damn! Such a big python? This TM is at least about 10 meters long. Deep sea fishing expert, oh my God! It's the first time I've seen such a big python. It's so thick. Wild fishing queen, I'm scared to pee. This is too scary. This python has caught up to my waist. Tourist 7523, this python is too big. My God! It's too long. Sexy little baby, my God, didn't you say that there are very few boa constrictors around 10 meters long in China? How could there be such a big boa constrictor? The scumbag was hot with tin foil. Damn it, I've already taken a screenshot, this python is too thick. Brother outdoor, I'm lost, this is the first time I've seen such a big python, it's much thicker than the ones I saw in the zoo. Fishing enthusiasts, oh my god, this large reservoir around the mountain seems really weird. No wonder there was a commotion more than 2 months ago, and now even such a big python has appeared. Finally, under the stunned eyes of the audience in the live broadcast room, the fishing team and others, Wang Mang quickly moved his huge body and disappeared into the jungle. It wasn't until several minutes later that the beautiful anchor who was in charge of fishing came back to his senses. Her pretty face was still pale, and she obviously still felt a little lingering fear. This is really because the python they saw just now is too big. Especially the degree of stoutness, which has caught up with the waistline of a beautiful woman. From the perspective of thickness, it is thicker than the Amazon anaconda. At this moment, the beautiful anchor Xiao Su, with a look of lingering fear on her face, stretched out her hand and patted her chest, trying to calm down the violent heartbeat, and then said in fear, "My mother, this big reservoir around the mountain is so scary." But as soon as the beauty opened her mouth, the rest of the partners coughed. This made Xiao Su a little dazed, and looked suspiciously at his companion who was also terrified. Seeing the strange eyes of the 3 partners, Xiao Su asked with a puzzled look on her pretty face, "What's wrong with you? Are you scared to death?" Hearing this, the boy who was in charge of shooting the live broadcast with the equipment couldn't help but said with a dark face, "It's not that we were scared, stupid, it's you, look at the pants yourself." Hearing this, Xiao Su lowered her head in confusion. But when she saw the water stains on her jeans, her pretty face instantly flushed. It turned out that she didn't realize that she was really scared to the point of incontinence before. At this moment, she was even more ashamed and indignant, wishing to find a crack to get in. Similarly, this scene did not escape the discerning eyes of the audience in the live broadcast room. Many people couldn't help but burst into laughter, causing the comments in the live broadcast room to scroll wildly. Fishing expert, 666. The anchor was so scared. Ha ha ha, it's raining again. Are you afraid of it? Queen of wild fishing, Miss Anchor, it's really not good. Seeing such a big python, can't help it. Uncle Lowly AI, Aunt upstairs, I suspect you are driving, and I have evidence. Domineering is not master, oh my god. Fortunately, the boa constrictor runs fast, otherwise it would be caught by the female anchor, I can't even imagine. The crow takes the plane, oh my god, such a thick giant python, the young lady must be scared. It's normal. Lovely you, who are they? This can also drive, you old turtles. Obviously, the audience in the live broadcast room admired the anchor very much, and this was a very embarrassing scene. Similarly, this video with such a huge back and forth reversal was quickly spread. I believe it won't be long before this video will appear on major social video sites. Because Wang Mang's physique is too scary and too eye-catching. Coupled with the beautiful anchor, the pants were frightened with water stains. This kind of beauty and giant python, full of topical videos, is destined to be very eye-catching. In fact, it is true. This video was also spread by many good people. Moreover, the video quickly caused a lot of repercussions on the internet. Certainly, Wang Mang didn't know the culprit of all this, let alone a female fishing anchor who was scared to pee by him. At this moment, on a thick tree near the reservoir, Wang Mang's huge snake body was entangled on the big tree, and the huge snake head looked into the distance. Similarly, several members of the previous anchor team also appeared in Wang Mang's sight. To his surprise, this small team of fishing anchors did not back down. Still found a place far away from Wang Mang's previous location, and prepared to continue fishing. Wang Mang was not surprised by this either. Complete zero. Remember, in 1 second after all, these people came so far to fish in the reservoir, so naturally they couldn't be frightened by him, so they left the reservoir and returned empty-handed. On the contrary, Wang Mang enjoyed the bright and somewhat poisonous sun, and his body felt a little uncomfortable under the sun. After all, he is a cold-blooded snake animal. Wang Mang can understand and accept these natural body reactions. What's worth mentioning is that in the sky, an eagle that keeps circling keeps screaming above his head. But this eagle obviously knew that Wang Mang was not easy to provoke, so he didn't attack Wang Mang, so he didn't dare to provoke him. At this moment, Wang Mang didn't know if it was his own illusion, but he actually vaguely saw a huge black shadow appearing in the middle of the reservoir. After a while, this huge shadow disappeared from the surface of the reservoir lake. Fuck! What the was in the water just now? It's too big, right? Wang Mang was terrified. He was even more certain in his heart that there was an unknown huge creature underwater. Because, Wang Mang's intuition told him that he was absolutely not dazzled before. Moreover, if Wang Mang hadn't been coiled on the big tree, at a very high angle, it would have been difficult to see the huge shadow that appeared in the previous reservoir. Damn it! No matter what kind of monster you are, I will take revenge on you sooner or later. Wang Mang, who was a little angry, thought very gloomily in his heart. When it was dark, the fissures in the reservoir had almost reached the end. Only then did Wang Mang climb down from the big tree. He didn't stop at all, moving the huge snake body. Reading www.uuganshu.com began to go down the mountain, shuttling in the fields of rural villages. But Wang Mang's huge figure also disturbed many small animals that were active at night, and the commotion was not small. At night, Wang Mang could still vaguely see several figures who often wandered in the rice fields. As for what these people were tossing about in the rice fields, Wang Mang knew without guessing, they were obviously catching eels and loaches. Regarding this, Wang Mang didn't want to be troublesome, and hurried along the direction of his grandmother's home in his memory. But at this moment, a dog barking suddenly came from behind. Wow woof! Woof woof! In the deep night, this barking sound was particularly loud, from far to near. Wang Mang immediately turned the head of the huge snake, and in the eyes of the cold snake, he saw a few people arresting the eel in the distance. A dirt dog they brought was running towards him recklessly. Dear, this chapter is over, I wish you a happy reading. Big smiley face, remember in a second damn. Is this dead dog looking for death? Wang Mang couldn't help cursing inwardly. Then, Wang Mang tried to get rid of the big dog, and quickly moved his body into a cornfield. At the same time, Wang Mang also vaguely heard a young voice, Rhubarb. Rhubarb. Come back, but to Wang Mang's helplessness, he got into the corn grove, and this big yellow dog still caught up desperately. In addition, the movement in the distance also told Wang Mang that the guys who caught the eel and loach were also coming here. Since you want to die, you bastard, don't blame me. Wang Mang's heart turned hard, he turned back the huge snake's head, bowed the Tumaturai snake's head, and stared at the big yellow dog coldly. The big yellow dog was obviously also frightened by Wang Mang's huge size, and he didn't dare to rush towards Wang Mang recklessly. Instead, he bared his teeth fiercely at Wang Mang from a distance of a few meters, and let out a muffled growl, woohoo! Wang! Not only that, but seeing that Wang Mang didn't make any offensive moves, the big yellow dog became even more courageous. It approached cautiously, bared its teeth fiercely at Wang Mang all the time, and issued a low warning sound. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang knew that he had to kill the big yellow dog, otherwise he would be exposed. Therefore, after this lifeless big yellow dog entered the attack range, Wang Mang immediately opened his mouth and rushed forward. The speed was so fast that even the big yellow dog couldn't react. Wang Mang's snake basin had a big mouth, biting the big yellow dog's neck. Then, Wang Mang's huge body wrapped around him immediately, without giving the dog any time to react. Soon, as Wang Mang continued to entangle the body of the big yellow dog, the big yellow dog couldn't help howling in pain, woo! Even, vaguely, the sound of bones breaking from the big yellow dog could be heard. It's a pity that Wang Mang didn't stop there. After mincing all the bones of the big yellow dog, he swallowed it whole. At the same time, the system's voice sounded again, ding. Congratulations to the host, devour the earth dog. Get 85 evolution points. After hearing the sound of the system, Wang Mang didn't care, but quickly moved his body and left the corn grove. At this moment, outside the cornfield, the three young men looked at the cornfield with apprehensive expressions, a little at a loss. Earlier, the screams of rhubarb came from the corn, and they also heard it. But they didn't dare to act rashly at all, knowing that it was probably rhubarb, who had provoked some unknown and vicious creature. However, creatures that can kill rhubarb quickly are obviously very difficult to mess with. Therefore, they didn't even have the courage to run into the cornfield, let alone save rhubarb. When rhubarb's screams disappeared and the cornfield gradually calmed down, the three young men looked at each other with extremely panicked and frightened expressions. What exactly killed rhubarb? One of the young men asked in fear, swallowing his saliva. I don't know, let's take a look during the day. Yet, creatures that can kill rhubarb so quickly, even if we find them, we can't beat them. Let's take a look again in the daytime. Go back first. The other two youths shook their heads in fright. After discussing for a while, the three of them went home one after another. They were so frightened that they didn't even think about catching eels. 2 hours later, Wang Mang finally arrived, the home of Grandma in memory. Looking up, Grandma's house, upstairs is still brightly lit. This made Wang Mang even more excited. After 2 months, he finally came back again. Wang Mang held back his excitement, moved the huge snake body, and came to the yard of Grandma's house. But as soon as Wang Mang approached, there was a ferocious dog bark, wow, woof. Woof, woof. Damn panther! I am your master. Don't you know me? After Wang Mang heard the dog barking, he couldn't help feeling helpless. He raised the huge snake head, and saw not far away, a strong Tibetan mastiff tied outside the yard. Then, a miraculous scene happened. The originally fierce black panther froze immediately after hearing Wang Mang's voice. Its big dog head tilted to one side, staring blankly at the behemoth in front of it. Obviously, it was wondering why this boa constrictor could talk. Moreover, the speaking voice is still the voice of its owner. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang immediately knew that the Black Panther obviously hadn't forgotten his voice. Black Panther, be good. Don't bark. Wang Mang yelled at the panther in delight. This made the originally ferocious panther start wagging its tail, looking excited and active. Seeing that the Black Panther had stopped, Wang Mang moved it into a huge ball and moved towards the brightly lit second floor, shouting excitedly, Grandma! Grandma! Accompanied by Wang Mang's call, the elderly and depressed grandma in the room on the second floor thought she was hallucinating. Since Wang Mang left, the old man has never been able to get sick. Grandma, who used to go out often, has also become housebound, and her health is getting worse and worse. Wang Mang didn't know about these things, but when the old man heard Wang Mang's voice, he was very excited. Remember in 1 second supporting his dying body, he went downstairs tremblingly. The old man was still muttering, "Grandson is back, grandson, grandma is here, grandma is." When the old man came downstairs, he opened the door, looked blankly at the dark surroundings, and called out, "Grandson! Grandson, grandson! Grandma is here!" Wang Mang, who was hiding in the darkness, lost control of his emotions even more, but he was worried that going out now would scare the old man. After a long silence, Wang Mang looked at the elderly grandma in front of the door, and said, "Grandma, my grandson is back, but I dare not come out for fear of scaring you." This quiet voice made the old man more sure that the grandson he missed had really returned. The old man became more emotional, "Grandson, Grandma is not afraid. Grandson, come out and let Grandma see. After being silent for a while, Wang Mang still roughly explained to his grandma what happened to him. Finally, in the intimate call of Grandma, only then did Wang Mang slowly move the huge snake body and come out from the darkness. Dear, this chapter is over. I wish you a happy reading. Big smiley face. Remember, in a second, looking at the huge monster in front of her, the elderly grandma was stunned for a long time. After recovering, the old man looked up at Wang Mang. Are you my grandson? Grandma, it's me. Wang Mang nodded at the huge snake head. Grandson, why did you become like this? Did you become like this after being eaten by a monster? Our old Wang's family, what kind of crime is this? Why did you treat my grandson like this? The old man sobbed tremblingly, stretched out his wrinkled hands, and stroked Wang Mang's huge snake body tremblingly. Hearing Grandma's words, Wang Mang was speechless. It was only then that he remembered that the elders of Grandma's generation were much more receptive than modern people. Moreover, people of the older generation are extremely superstitious. They always believe that there are gods standing above their heads. Therefore, it was easier and easier for Wang Mang to meet his grandma than he imagined. Thinking of this, Wang Mang whispered, Grandma, it's better to be alive than to be completely dead. After listening to Wang Mang's words, the old man nodded his head. Yes, my grandson is right. My grandson may become a spirit in the future. If my grandson is lucky, if he is favored by a in the future, maybe my grandson will become a god. Thinking of this, the old man became much happier, and affectionately stroked Wang Mang's wash-basin-sized snake head. Wang Mang, who looks extremely ferocious to outsiders, is full of doting in the eyes of the old man. No matter what the grandson becomes, she is her beloved grandson. In this regard, Wang Mang did not expose it. Grandma is superstitious, as long as Grandma is happy. Grandma, I want to see Dad and Mom. After thinking for a while, Wang Mang still said. Hearing Wang Mang's words, Grandma nodded repeatedly and said, Yes, yes, grandson, I'll tell your father about it. After finishing speaking, Grandma took out her mobile phone tremblingly, and called his parents in front of Wang Mang. After the call was connected, Wang Mang didn't speak the whole time, but was very excited listening to his father's familiar voice on the phone. As for Grandma, she said that she had something important to tell them, so that they must come back tomorrow, but she didn't say a word about Wang Mang's turning into a giant python. After hanging up the phone, Grandma looked at Wang Mang and said, Grandson, go back to sleep. Wang Mang smiled bitterly and said, Grandma, no need, I'll just sleep in the woods in the backyard. Grandma scolded, How can this be done? Hearing this, Wang Mang smiled wryly and said, Grandma, I've become a giant python, it's inconvenient to stay indoors. The old man still firmly disagreed, and scolded, Nowhere, what if someone finds out outside, what if you want to kill your grandson? In desperation, Wang Mang had no choice but to compromise. He twisted his huge body and slept in a room that once belonged to him on the second floor. Because the old man was nostalgic, even after Wang Mang died, the old man still did not take away Wang Mang's things and daily necessities. The furnishings of Wang Mang's room were all the same, except that there was no dust in the room. Obviously, Grandma often came to his room to clean it. After returning to his room, Wang Mang felt a lot of emotion in his heart. He finally felt the warmth of Zheng's home. After 2 months of living as a cold-blooded animal, Wang Mang almost forgot that he was once a human being. Fortunately, now that he has recognized his family, he doesn't have to live a life of ruthlessness and blood drinking every day like before. Early the next morning, Grandma cooks for herself and cooks some delicious dishes for Wang Mang to eat. What made Wang Mang helpless was that these foods were completely unpalatable for him. Not only is the sense of taste very repulsive, but it also cannot provide him with the slightest evolutionary point. Therefore, Wang Mang had no choice but to tell his grandma the truth. saying that he likes to eat meat and fresh animals. After listening to Wang Mang's words, Grandma thought for a while and felt that what Wang Mang said was right. Where does the boa constrictor have food? Moreover, maybe this grandson of my own will become a fairy in the future? After all, his grandson is already a snake demon now. Yes, in the eyes of the old man, his grandson Wang Mang has become a boa constrictor, and he is obviously a snake demon who can speak human words. Therefore, the old man thought for a while, looked at Wang Mang and asked, "Grandson, which grandma is going to buy you some live chickens and live ducks?" Wang Mang immediately shook his head and said, "Grandma doesn't need it, I can go without eating for a long time after one meal, and it's fine if I don't eat for half a month." Seeing Wang Mang's quick refusal, the old man thought for a while without forcing it, and said, "Okay, grandson, then when your father comes, I'll talk to your father." Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded. He still has to rely on his father's help to become stronger. In the afternoon, Wang Mang's parents came. As for how did Wang Mang know? From afar, Wang Mang heard the sound of a car. Through the window, Wang Mang saw his parents, whom he hadn't seen in 2 months, walking towards them with some supplements. Soon, Grandma went down and opened the door. When Queen Mother Wang Fu entered the room, she felt even more guilty when she saw the haggard old man. Since his son left, the old man has been depressed and widowed, and his physical condition is very bad. I don't know what happened today, but the old man asked them to come back in such a hurry. But they knew that the old man was not in good health, so they rushed back without stopping. Remember in 1 second up. "Mom, are you okay?" Wang Long asked worriedly, and so did Li Wan. Hearing this, the old man shook his head, glanced at his son and daughter-in-law, and said slowly, "Go upstairs. Grandson wants to see you." Hearing the old man's words, both Wang Long and the Queen Mother were stunned, and looked at the old man with astonishment. Wang Long couldn't help worrying and said, "Mom, don't think too much, if Manger is still alive, I hope you are well." "You bastard! Of course I know that my grandson wishes me well." The old man snapped angrily, "You bastard, do you think I'm demented?" "Father Wang, ... Queen Mother, ... The father and mother did not dare to speak any more, so they could only keep silent. At this time, the old man explained the matter to the two of them. After listening to the old man's words, Father Wang and Queen Mother even felt that the old man must have hallucinations. This must be missing the grandson so much. Seeing the appearance of the son and daughter-in-law, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. The old man's life experience, how can he not know their thoughts? The old man was trembling with anger, grabbed the chicken blanket beside him, and greeted Father Wang's head, angrily shouting, You bastard! At the same time, Wang Mang, who heard the movement, moved his huge snake body out of the room and came to the railing on the second floor. Looking at the familiar figures of the parents downstairs, Wang Mang suppressed the excitement in his heart, and shouted to the parents downstairs, "Dad, Mom! What Grandma said is true." When they heard Wang Mang's familiar voice, both the father and mother froze. After all, he was his own son, how could he forget his voice? They even thought that the brain was hallucinating. But when the king's father and queen mother looked up, they saw a scalp-numbing scene that almost made them faint. Dear, this chapter is over, I wish you a happy reading. Big smiley face. Remember in a second I saw, at the fence on the second floor, a 3-meter python with its head erected, black as ink, and as thick as a human waist, was staring at them. Under the stunned eyes of the king's father and mother, Wang Mang said excitedly, "Dad, Mom! I am Wang Mang." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the two jumped up from the spot in fright, screaming palely, "Monster!" Seeing the terrified appearance of his parents, Wang Mang was speechless. Seeing this scene, the grandma on the side shouted loudly, "Look at how scared you are! Can the grandson eat you up?" Obviously, the acceptance ability of Wang Fu and Wang Mu's heart is not as good as that of his grandma. Finally spent 2 long hours. After repeated verifications, the king's father and queen's mother completely believed that the giant python in front of them was their son. However, in the hearts of the king father and queen mother, it can be said that there are mixed feelings. Glad, of course, is that their son is back. Sadness, it was the state of their son that made them unable to accept it all at once. Son, are you really a snake demon in your current state? At this time, Father Wang Long couldn't help asking curiously. The queen mother on the side also looked curious. After all, they are highly educated anyway. He is completely an atheist, but his own son has turned into a giant python. No matter how much they believe in science, it is impossible not to believe in ghosts and gods. Hearing this, Wang Mang shook his head and said helplessly, "Dad, I don't know either. Maybe it is." Hearing this, Father Wang became even more curious. "What the hell, do you know spells or something?" "Wang Mang, number. Seeing Wang Mang shaking his head, Father Wang was a little disappointed and confused. "Are you a monster now? If you are not a monster, how can you talk?" Wang Mang thought for a while, then slowly said, "Father, I think I might be a monster. For example, I have a hunch that as long as I keep eating, I can become very big, and it's not even like in the movie. Impossible. Also, every time I get bigger, if I'm lucky, I can get some special abilities." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the Queen Mother asked curiously, "Where are you? Is your spouting a special ability?" Seeing this, Wang Mang nodded and said, "Yes. Mom, I have acquired a special ability to speak, otherwise, I might not have come back." Hearing this, Father Wang slapped his thigh and said, "Son, don't guess, you must be a demon now. Didn't you say that as long as one eats, it can become stronger? Son, what do you think Dad can do for you?" Wang Mang's heart was happy, and he said to his father, "What I'm waiting for is your words." Thinking of this, Wang Mang quickly said, "Mom and Dad, I feel that as long as I eat a certain prey target every time, I can keep evolving and becoming stronger. So, Dad, if you are capable, prepare some prey for your son. Chickens, ducks, pigs, dogs, cattle, and sheep, as long as it is food is fine, and the amount needed is relatively large. Dad, I have evolved 4 or 5 times now. The prey target consumed each time, and after each evolution, the consumption will become more than the last evolution." After Wang Mang's explanation, Wang Long nodded and said thoughtfully, "Son, I understand. You mean, as long as you eat enough prey, you can continue to evolve and become stronger, and even become a real demon in the end." Wang Mang nodded helplessly. Although he wanted to say that he was not a demon, he couldn't explain his state and would not expose the system. Therefore, if they are treated as a monster by their parents, it is good that they can accept it, and save themselves from spending a lot of time explaining their current state. "No problem, son, isn't it just meat? Dad has plenty of money. According to my son, in your current state, you need 3,600 caddies of prey to evolve, right? At most 10 pigs can eat this. Is it enough to evolve and become stronger again? I will buy you 10,000 pigs for you to eat." Father Wang said excitedly as if he had discovered a new continent. "After all, my son has turned into a legendary monster. Of course he, the father, has to help him. No matter what state Wang Mang has become now, it cannot be denied that he is his son. Moreover, this unprecedented thing happened to his own son. He also wanted to see if his son would become the legendary monster with magical powers who could call wind and rain. 10,000 pigs? What is the concept? How strong can it become?" To be honest, Wang Mang also wanted to know. Therefore, Wang Mang became even more excited with anticipation. After all, a pig weighs 400 to 500 caddies, and the evolution points obtained by eating 10 pigs are enough for his current evolution. The next time it evolves, even if it doubles again, it will still be 20 pigs. All in all, 10,000 pigs are definitely enough for him to evolve many times. Thinking of this, Wang Mang became even more excited, and at the same time worried. Father, the price of 10,000 adult slaughter pigs is not cheap, right? Hearing this, Father Wang froze for a moment, then said with a dark face, 10,000 pigs, you remember in 1 second. Dad still has a way of getting it. Father is in charge of fodder, at worst, I will buy a batch of piglets and raise them myself. Hearing the old man's words, Wang Mang remembered that the old man Wang himself was engaged in the sound of feed. The business of feed is very big, and Dad is also one of the best feed suppliers in the province. After thinking of this, Wang Mang felt less scruples, and couldn't help but nodded and said, Dad, it's up to you to be so strong. Father Wang waved his hands proudly and said, small problem, but Mang, you can't live in your grandma's house now, can you? It's okay for a short time, but reading www.yuyuganshu.com will be easily exposed after a long time. At that time, you will really be caught and sliced. I can't protect you, old man. Having said that, Father Wang's expression became unusually serious. He knew his son's current state and absolutely couldn't expose it. If people found out that his son has turned into a giant python and can still talk, he will definitely be arrested by people from certain departments for research. Father, I plan to put the new snake nest activity site on the Huanshan Great Reservoir. After all, I have lived there for more than 2 months. Wang Mang thought for a while, looked at his father seriously and said. After hearing this, the old man shook his head in fright and said, that won't work. The reservoir is too weird. Dear, this chapter is over, I wish you a happy reading. Big smiley face. Remember, in a second, after all, the death of my son was because of Huanshan Reservoir. So, of course he disagreed, and Wang Mang continued to stay at Huanshan Reservoir. The Queen Mother also nodded repeatedly, and resolutely refused. Why not, my son? You died in the Huanshan Reservoir last time, and the cause of death is unknown. You must not stay in the reservoir this time. Having said that, the Queen Mother, Father Wang, and Grandma all became serious and began to persuade. Manger, how did you die? Didn't you go fishing? Why did you end up drowning? So, Manger, let's choose another place. Hearing this, Wang Mang froze for a moment, shook the huge snake's head and said, Father, my death is indeed related to the reservoir. There are huge unknown creatures in the reservoir. Wang Mang's words made the Queen Mother, Wang Father, and Grandma all turn pale with shock, and looked at Wang Mang in disbelief. Father Wang asked in astonishment, Son, could it be that there are still water monsters in our reservoir? The Queen Mother said even more firmly, you can't stay in the reservoir. Definitely not. Seeing this, Wang Mang said helplessly, it's okay, Mom and Dad, I will go to the reservoir to find out when I grow to 20 meters. The Queen Mother yelled worriedly, no. What if it's really a water monster? Don't go. Don't stay in the reservoir. In desperation, Wang Mang could only discuss with his family. Finally, after 2 hours of deliberation, the family members reluctantly agreed to Wang Mang's request. Not only that, but Dad is still discussing his initial plan to become stronger. According to the idea of the old man, he is going to bring hundreds of pigs to Wang Mang first. Let's see how far Wang Mang can evolve and become stronger after eating hundreds of pigs. Then officially began to use money to smash Wang Mang to accelerate Wang Mang's growth and evolution. Not only that, according to the old man's idea, he planned to completely ban fishing in the reservoir and regard it as Wang Mang's active place. However, in the end Wang Mang rejected the idea because it would be too eye-catching. According to Wang Mang's idea, Dad built a huge pig farm near the reservoir. In this case, it is convenient for Wang Mang to evolve, and it will not attract too much attention. After finalizing the method with his family, Father Wang immediately began to implement it. 2 months later, near Huanshan Reservoir, 2 kilometers away, a huge pig farm was built. The place where the pig farm was established was completely built in the mountains and forests. Many breeders were also invited, and 6,000 heads were released. Just for the 15,000 square meter site investment, Wang Mang's father invested nearly 100 million yuan. This is completely based on the establishment of a large-scale breeding farm with more than 10,000 pigs. Fortunately, the cost of feed can be ignored, and the cost of self-production and self-supply is not high. The main investment is the large site required for raising pigs and the cost of piglets. Among them, the establishment of large-scale breeding farms and piglets, Laudi's investment probably reached about 150 million. From this, Wang Mang can be seen that his father really wants to buy him 10,000 ready-made pigs for slaughter. I am afraid that going on like this will not be far from bankruptcy. Although pork is not expensive today, according to the market price in 2017, a catty of pork and hairy pigs costs more than 20 yuan. Based on the calculation of a pig weighing 400 catties, 10,000 pigs is almost 100 million. But although the family is engaged in feed, but the capital reserve is not enough. As we all know, large enterprises are very popular in arrears, and the settlement cycle is very long. For some large enterprises, there are a lot of accounts settled in 2 quarters, 1 year, and 2 years. Even old customers have a longer checkout cycle. According to my father's self-prepared fund reserve of 450 million. At least 200 million yuan must be left for turnover, and it is not bad to invest more than 100 million yuan for him to build a large pig farm. Moreover, if Wang Mang didn't stop him, his father really planned to buy 10,000 pigs to devour and evolve. Of course, although Wang Mang rejected 10,000 pigs. However, Wang Mang mainly planned to buy the next evolution after each evolution, which would be much more convenient. Also, it's worth mentioning that Wang Mang has now completed the 7th evolution. However, it is a pity that in the last 2 evolutions, Wang Mang did not get any special abilities. This made Wang Mang somewhat regretful. However, it is worth mentioning that Wang Mang's current volume has reached the level of 14 meters, which has really caught up with a body as thick as a human waist. Today is the preparation for Wang Mang's 8th evolution. Today, he must at least devour his prey to obtain 15,000 evolution points before he can undergo the 8th evolution. It takes about 40 pigs to evolve. At night, in a small pigsty, there was already a person in charge of transporting 40 pigs. In addition to the fact that there are 7 or 8 pigs in this small pigsty, there are a total of nearly 50 pigs here. In the evening when I was in charge, several breeders started chatting after feeding the pigs. Tell me, why is Boss Wang so weird? It's fine to build a pig farm on such a big mountain. Also, you reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Every time the pigs we feed sometimes disappear automatically the next day. Report this situation to the boss. The boss 0. Remember, in 1 second the board told us not to ask. Furthermore, Boss Wang also stipulated that after we get off work at 6 o'clock, all of us will be forced to leave the farm. If we dare to stay in the farm, we will be fired directly. At this time, a middle-aged woman's eyes suddenly lit up and she said, "Yes. This is too weird. You say, if we steal 2 pigs secretly, the boss shouldn't notice, right? After all, the pigs sent by the boss often disappear the next day. Even if we steal a few of them quietly, it should be fine." That's right. Since that's the case, even if we steal the 2 pigs away, Boss Wang probably won't know about it. Hearing what the woman said, another middle-aged male employee sneered and said, "You guys have a pretty good idea. There are all surveillance cameras around here, haven't you seen it? Dear, this chapter is over, I wish you a happy reading." Big smiley face.